ॐ ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नुमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं। परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविरावीर्म एधि वेदस्य महानिस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेन अहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्माम् अवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यत्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः। इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा जिह्वे पिबस्वामृतमेतदेव गोविन्द दामोदर माधवेति। हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति नारायण 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 verse number 19 chapter 3. I'll read the verse first and then we'll continue from where we left in the last session. Verse number 19. Tasmadasaktas satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti purushah. तस्मादसक्तः सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पुरुषः. I've already read the bhashya in the last session, so we'll straight away get into the meaning from where we left in the last session. From the 19th shlo, in the 19th verse which we just read, Bhagwan, Supreme Consciousness Bhagwan Krishna is actually concluding his teaching from the verses, from the verses 3 to 18. That's what we said in the last session. What Bhagwan has already given as a teaching from the verses, third verse number 3 to verse number 18, that teaching Bhagwan is concluding in this verse number 19. And what is Bhagwan saying? Tasmat asaktah satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hi acharan karma param apnoti purusha. Now, using Arjun as a nimitta means using Arjun as a cause, or by, through the teaching to Arjun, actually Supreme Consciousness Bhagwan Krishna is interacting with all of us. Through Arjun, by way of teaching to Arjun, through that medium, Bhagwan is trying to give all of us an instruction and order to lead our life. And to all of us human beings, the order of Supreme Consciousness Bhagwan Krishna is that, Karyam Karma Samachara. We need to understand the instruction very clearly. Whatever action we do, first of all, do your action. That's the first instruction. And it's not that just do your action the way you feel like. Do your action in the best possible manner you can, with your best possible effort, with whatever best you can do with that action. That is how Supreme Consciousness Bhagwan Krishna wants all of us to do our action. Uh, Whatever beauty you can add to your work, whatever beauty you can, or decorate your work with, we must do that. So Bhagwan is saying, make your work a beautiful offering. Not, do not let it remain just as a piece of work. Rather, make it a masterpiece. And how will you be able to make it a masterpiece? When you put your 100% effort into it, 100% devotion into it, when you raise the bar and offer that as a worship of yours to the higher ideal, that is how you will add beauty to your work. So Bhagwan is saying, generate that beauty in your work, and establish that beauty in your work and prove that you can do beautiful work. Who are you to prove? Who are you proving to? Not that you're setting out to prove it to the world. You will automatically feel the happiness within you the moment you do some beautiful work with a higher altar of devotion. Okay, it doesn't matter whether the work is small or whether the work is big. It doesn't matter at all. Whether the work is small or it is big enough for you to do, the effort of yours should be that you should be able to lead it to completion. You should be able to complete it, and not only just complete it, complete it with whatever beauty you can give it to it. You should be able to beautify the work given to you. And this is the order of Supreme Consciousness Bhagavan Krishna. This is the instruction of Supreme Consciousness Bhagavan Krishna to all of us. Now, if you really try to translate this, how does it translate to our daily life? Whatever situations arrive in our life, or whatever situations I receive in my life, with whatever capability I have, with whatever post I have gained, whatever place I've established myself in the society, whatever age I am in, whatever ashram means the Chaturtha ashram I'm talking about, the Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas, whatever ashram I am in, whatever is my situation around me, according to that, but whatever is my duty which is due at that moment, I would be eager and put my full effort and hard work to ensure that it is done in a beautiful manner. It is done with absolute completion, and not only completion, I will fulfill my duty beautifully. I will fulfill my duty in the best possible manner. It should become a bar for me itself, that am I able to raise my bar to do it better than the last time. But remember, the altar here is that altar is always God. Whatever is possible from my end, and that too ensuring that I do not get attached in the process of doing this action, without attachment, without developing any attachment, without generating any attachment, I should be able to fulfill whatever duty comes into me in the best possible manner, with whatever beauty I can and add to it. What it means for us is further how it translates to us is that whatever work we do, we should be able to do it without the ego called aham, that I am doing it for myself. That feeling should slowly, gradually start to go away. I gave you one example in the last session also. I'm giving you now also. When we raise our kids, for those people who have kids, they can easily relate to it. When we raise our kids, remember, we are not wanting to see any immediate result from them. We are not, sometimes parents get too much focused on that. They would want to, kid is born only just 1 year down the line only, and we start thinking that I'll make you that kid a doctor or xy. See, that you're thinking too long. But I'm telling you, what is your immediate duty towards them? Whatever time you spend with them, give quality time to them. Ensure that they do not have any reason to cry. Their smile itself, their laugh itself is so much bliss giving. What to talk about, thinking about future and try to get worried about that. That feeling is a different feeling itself. I'm telling you very honestly, when I see kids, I'm telling you, I see them as one of the most beautiful expression of God. They are so pure. They have no hidden agenda at all. It doesn't matter what, how much wealth you have, whether you are rich, poor, it doesn't matter to them at all. The only thing which matters to them is, are you with them? Are you listening to them? Are you loving them? Just see, it's very simple for them. They want only simple things in life. They are not looking for complicated things at all. So what is that we need to take as a message is what comes as a conclusion from all this is that whatever action we do, we should try to remove the ego from that action, that I am doing the action for myself. Means that we should remove the selfishness from that action, that I am doing it for myself and my enjoyment and my pleasure and my living. How we should do it? We should try to replace that with doing the action as a devotee of God. that I am a devotee of God. I have surrendered unto my God, and I'll keep in my mind that whatever work I do, I'm doing it that it makes my God happy. It makes my God happy. My effort should be that whatever efforts I do, whatever action I do, with whatever little bit I can do, with whatever little capability I have, I should be able to give some happiness to my God. God is so big, but still my effort should be that I should keep on looking from my side that whatever I'm doing, is my God happy also or not? Or is he actually upset with me the way I'm doing it? Am I troubling him, or am I giving him peace of mind the way I am? Am I making him free that he do not have to worry about one more human being to manage in this world? I do not know what this guy is going to do. Is he going to create a ruckus in this creation or not? Or am I, with God to help in actually making this world a peaceful place to live? Am I facilitating it for others also to live peacefully, or and also ensuring by that way that I also live peacefully here? So I am looking at God that oh, am I doing it for the happiness of God? And when we do that, remember, that is when we can say, coin our action as anasakta, an action with absolute detachment, an action which is not filled with attachment at all. Now, when we start doing action for ourselves and our selfish interest, remember, at that time we are only chasing our own selfish desires. That is one thing in which is missing in action totally from those kind of actions. When the purpose of my action is not to decorate myself, is not to fulfill my selfish desires, it's not to make myself more comfortable in life. Rather, it is that I want to cultivate the grace and blessings of Bhagwan with my action. That is when the same action becomes anasaktakaram, an action free from attachment. It becomes nishkam karam. It becomes an action which is actually free from my own selfish desires. Nishkam means that is how that action will be called as. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the word nishkam karam, the action which is free from selfish desires, is a word which has been used many times in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. You will see that. Now, I'll give you one example for you to understand this a little differently in a real life. A flower, whatever flower we have, if that flower has got, if it's a scented flower, a flower with good aura and good scent on it, that flower has got two levels of achievement. Okay, either that flower is plucked to become a decorative material for a human being, for us. We buy the flower for us, maybe for making a garland for ourselves, or a bouquet for ourselves, or bouquet for some human being, or maybe to decorate our home. We can have one way of using the flower is that way. Okay, but that is the first way a flower can be utilized. First way a flower's end result is actually. The other result of a flower is the same flower can be used in a separate way also, that we buy flowers or we use the flowers to offer it as a puja for our God. The product used is flower only in both the things, but one is for fulfilling the selfish desire of a person, whether it is decorating home, whether it is decorating one's own self, or whether it is what you call that, for our own beautification, whether it is for making a bouquet to given to be given to someone. They are all selfish reasons, right? But The flower can be used for offering it as a puja, as a worship to God also. When we offer the flower as a worship to supreme consciousness or God, remember, at that time the usage of that flower is not to decorate my selfish ego. Okay, rather than offering that flower to a human being or a being in this world, the same flower is used to offer at the lotus feet of God or Bhagwan or supreme consciousness. Now, this the word action also should be seen in the light of the same example of flower. Action also had got two culminatory steps, can be culminated at two different ends. Culminative ends are two places. One is action can be used for decorating one's own ego. Let me just say it directly. Okay, that for my own selfish desires, to make my life more luxurious, make my life more comfortable, you know, and have things of enjoyment in our life. Now, since I've taken up that topic, I'm going to peel down into a level to explain to you the gravity of this particular word. Why Bhagwan is Supreme Consciousness Bhagwan Krishna is emphasizing so much on Karma Yoga and offering your action to the higher altar. Now, when we decorate actions for our own selfish desires, remember, there is a very high probability that we will end up even overlooking others, or we will end up even troubling others for that action. I'm explaining to you now. Oh, I'm peeling down this particular fact so that we understand this in a much deeper sense. Let's understand the importance of action first. By doing action only, if one really wants, through one's hard work, through one's effort, through one's sweat and toil, people can reach the pinnacle of achievement in their life. And people have reached. There are many examples you can see here. Through action only, people gain position, people gain status in the society, people gain respect, people gain felicitation, people gain popularity. All these comes from action only. In life, whosoever has got any of these things or all of these things, remember, it has come out of their own hard work only. That's one thing we need to understand. That is one set of people I'm talking about. The second side, we'll see there are some people who do the same action, same effort, but make their action as a flower and offer it at the lotus feet of Supreme Consciousness, higher altar, or Bhagwan. And they offer that action for the happiness of God who they worship. And amongst the bhaktas in Narad Bhakti Sutra, Naradji gives this example in the 21st verse. Naradji gives this example of Yad Yatha Vraja Gopikanam. In Narad Bhakti Sutra, in the 21st verse, Naradji gives this example. Why Naradji is giving the example of the gopis of Vraj, of Vrindavan, and as an example of real example of bhakti? Why it is said? Because the bhakti of gopis were very, very different. Now remember, if you really have got some sense of Bhagavad, have heard Bhagavad somewhere, you will know that these gopis of Vrindavan, they used to dress up. They used to dress up brilliantly and beautifully only to please God. Okay, they used to do alankar shringar, or they used to make do makeup of theirs. They used to sleep in the night, rest well, all those things, whatever they used to do during the day, during their wake up time, during their waking state, was all for the happiness of Bhagwan. They had only one thing at the center. They used to take care of their husband also, oh, for the happiness of Bhagwan. They used to take care of their kids also for the happiness of Bhagwan. There is one story which comes from in Puranas. I can bring it out here, that Bhagwan Krishna told Naraji to go to Vrindavan and get the soil of Vrindavan on which these gopis of Vrindavan walk about. Why? Because they are really Bhagwan himself considers them as one of the best bhaktas available. Bhagwan says, go and get the sand or soil of Vrindavan and for me. And why Bhagwan said that? Naraji, I am having headache. Why don't you go to Vrindavan and get the sand or soil of the Vrindavan and for me, so that I can, and what do you call that? Place it on my head, or I can just apply it on my head so that my headache goes away. Now, uh, if it is told to a bhakta that Bhagwan wants your, if it is told to a devotee that Bhagwan is asking for, or the soil or sand on which you walk, so that Bhagwan can apply it on his forehead, a bhakta or a devotee may feel bad about it. He may not even agree to give it. No, that is how bhaktas are. Bhakta or devotee may think that what kind of a sin Bhagwan is wanting me to do. He is my Aradhya Dev. He is my worshipable deity. He is my God. And, he wants me to give the sand or soil I walk upon, so that he can and apply it on his head for his headache. No, I can't do that sin, kind of a sin. Even if Bhagwan asks, a devotee may not be able to do it, because devotee may think that it is a very sinful thing for me to do, that he is my Ishta Devta, he is my God who I worship every day. I can't give that at all, even if Bhagwan asks. But when Bhagwan asked this, and taking that message of Bhagwan, when Naradji reached Vrindavan and asked the gopis about it, that Bhagwan is asking for the sand or soil which you walk upon, and for him, so that he can remove his headache. You know what gopis did? To utter surprise, gopis filled that at with the whole what you call a bag full of that sand and gave it to Bhagwan. Why? Because the way gopis of Vrindavan think is very, very different. They gave it in the bag full of sand and soil to Naraji, and Naraji asked back, "You have no fear that you are giving in the sand or soil which you walk upon and you're giving it for your own deity or God who you worship day in and day out? Don't you fear that you will go to hell?" Gopi said, "Even if we have to go to hell for that, it is most welcome." Just think how gopis used to see Bhagwan as. They said, for Bhagwan, for the happiness of Bhagwan, it is acceptable for us even if we have to go to hell. If it's for happiness of Bhagwan, Bhagwan asked it, no. He will be happy if we give it, right? So what? By giving it, if we have to go to hell, it doesn't matter at all. We are ready to give it. Why? Because we are living here only for giving happiness to Bhagwan. Whatever makes him happy, even if making him happy, it ends up giving us sin, it doesn't matter. But if it makes him happy, let it be. It doesn't matter at all. You know, because Naradji had a doubt on these gopis of Vrindavan, because Naradji used to think that he's a great bhakta, not that out of any competition or anything. He always used to feel that I am doing great devotion to Bhagwan. Since Bhagwan knew that Naradji had got a doubt about the gopis of Vrindavan, and that is why Bhagwan sent Naradji, so that Naradji loads that bag on his head and comes to Bhagwan with that sand and soil of Vrindavan. And why? Because there the attitude of or the feeling of gopis of Vrindavan towards Bhagwan is tasmin sukhe sukhitvam. Our happiness lies in his happiness. That is actually Karma Yoga. We will be happy, whatever makes him happy, we are happy doing that. Even if that gives us sin and we have to go to hell, it doesn't matter at all. When we have that kind of a feeling, that is when we can say that we are established well in our devotion to Bhagwan. Now remember one thing, the biggest point of a bhakta or a devotee is, a bhakta or a devotee can never ever do anything or can never even venture into any arena which will make their God unhappy or sad. Why? Because their happiness is kept in the pocket of Bhagwan. If Bhagwan is happy, they are happy. It doesn't matter if it gives them pain or it gives them hell, it doesn't matter to them at all. Now, when I say this, you also need to understand that that doesn't mean that devotees work for giving pain to themselves. No, that is not what I mean. But yes, their goal is very clear. Whatever they do it for the happiness of Bhagwan. And their happiness is actually in the pocket of Bhagwan, as I just said. They have they have one thing which is very clear in their mind, one feeling which is absolutely clear and not disturbed at all, without any blockage, that if my God is happy, I will surely be happy. That thought process is very clear in devotees of Bhagwan. you know he a devotee of Bhagwan and hands over the reins of all his happiness to his God. And that is what is actually called devotion or bhakti. That is the actual word called bhakti. Now, the second person is such who actually does not give his happiness to Bhagwan, then he will have to end up giving his happiness to someone else, isn't it? This second category of person does not give the reins of his happiness to Bhagwan or God, rather wants to keep his own happiness in his own pocket. Now, what happens to such person, that also we should see. Rather, before even we go deeper, we need to understand, even though the intent of this person is to keep his happiness in his own pocket, that is not possible in this world at all. Why? Because happiness will always come from something or someone other than us, isn't it? We have to keep it in somewhere. We'll have to keep. If we are not keeping it in the pocket of Bhagwan, that means then we will be keeping it in somebody else's pocket. Because whenever we get happiness in life, it will always be coming from someone else, right? Now remember, the first person has kept it in the pocket of Bhagwan. So Bhagwan is ensuring that the happiness goes to him free flowing without any interruption. Now, since we are going to gain happiness from someone else, the choice is ours, whether you want to keep the key to your happiness in the pocket of God, or whether you want to keep the key to your happiness in somebody else's pocket in the world. Why? Because no one in this creation can keep his or her own happiness in his or her own pocket. That's not possible, that is for sure. I'm telling you, from whatever scriptures I have read, whatever little bit of research I've done, remember, happiness will always come from somewhere else. it will always come from someone else. It will always come from something else. It will never ever come from us. Remember, we have the thing I've said in the last verse was when Bhagwan was talking about Atmaratihi, in the 17th verse, when Bhagwan said that why Bhagwan said he's the one who does not have anything to do with any kind of work. Why? Because he's reached a level that he is happy, contented, and fulfilled and satisfied with his own self. Remember that. Till that time, it is for sure that happiness is going to come from somewhere else. But now what happens? And to this kind of a person who keeps in someone else's pocket, now this person will either keep the key to his happiness in his children's pocket, that when my children are happy, I will be happy. Or in a married life, a husband can keep it in the pocket of his wife can keep it in the pocket of her husband, and think that when and they are happy, I'll be happy. Or the third, I can give you multiple examples, but I'm trying to give you all kind of examples so that you understand this well. Or some people who do not have either of these, and they are not married, they do not have kids also, can, and we can see some people who keep it in the pocket of their friends, that if my friends are happy, I'll be happy. And if the same friend one day makes a sullen face, is this friend may think that my day is waste today. Why? Because my happiness is lying in his pocket and he is sad. And you know, because he is sad, he's not going to take out from his pocket and give it to you because he himself is sad. A sad person cannot take out happiness from his or her own pocket and give it to you. And the thing is, it has to be in somebody else's pocket. I cannot keep my happiness in my own pocket. That is also a rule which I just said. So this is a very clear-cut process in this creation, that you cannot keep your own happiness in your own pocket. You have to put it in somebody else's pocket, and from what you put in somebody else's pocket, from that only it will start returning back to you. From that only portions or the entire thing will come back to you. Now, when you know that you have to put your happiness in somebody else's pocket, that is the reason why gopis of Vrindavan put their happiness, the key to their happiness, in the pocket of Bhagwan. And so this thought process is very clear, that for them, that when my God is happy, I will surely be happy. And if my God is angry, then even if the whole world praises me, whole world is happy from me, but I cannot be happy at all. Why? Because my God is not happy with me. In my heart, the only feeling of contention is that that my God, my love for God is so much that his happiness alone will make me happy. A devotee is one who reaches slowly, gradually to that particular level. That is the one who can be called as bhakta. My only avenue for happiness is that my God is happy. From him only the happiness will come to me. Goswami Tulsidas ji says, hit hamar siyapati sevakai. All the devotees have this kind of a thought process alone, this kind of an understanding alone, that though when my God is happy, my hit, my well, my good effort will be when my God is happy with me. All the bhaktas, all the devotees have this kind of a thought process, that when my God is happy, then only I can be happy. If I am feeling happy within me all the time, even though the circumstances are whatever, but I feel that happiness, remember one thing, that God sitting within you is very happy with your work. It's not that a devotee will do work for happiness of Bhagwan, then who will take care of the devotee? Are, you know that God is the master of this universe. he has never ever left any devotee. You try working for him, then only you can taste that kind of happiness, which is very, very different from all the kind of worldly happiness put together. It's a very different level of happiness, as you know, if you really can understand that. It's not that, a bhakta will be, a devotee will be left high and dry, nobody to take care of this guy's happiness. Why? Because he's working for the happiness of God, and God is happy and he's moving around. It's not like that. God is not, does not work like us. We can become selfish sometimes, that people give us happiness but we don't want to give it back. I'm telling you, it's such a strange world. So many people, they are not blind and deaf to not understand that they're receiving something, but they just don't feel, just don't have the willingness, just don't have the ability to give. Not the ability that they do not have the physical ability to give, they just don't have the intent to give. They want to keep everything to themselves. All of, people are so selfish is in this world. Most of the people are so selfish in this world. They only want to end up receiving, and they want that everything should come to them free. I don't understand where this thought process is coming. I probably feel many of the political parties are also at fault to develop this kind of a habit of people. Why should you get everything free? You have hands, you have the ability to work hard, you have the capability to do. Why should you be given everything free? Why can't you work? Why can't you just generate the happiness by working? Since we develop these kind of things to get free. For every arena they want to get free. But remember one thing, for spirituality, you do not think that everything you will get free. You have to put your effort. You have to come up to that mark. You have to develop that capability to receive. Just because you are a human being, you have ears to hear, don't think, or you have a brain in your head, don't think you will start understanding spirituality unless and until you develop the habit of service and seva, service or seva, so to say. You have to come up to that level. Without that, you cannot receive. This is how the creation is built. And this is what Bhagwan said about yajna spirit. You have to offer first. Don't end up only be at the receiving end all the time. How long will you receive? You will not receive infinitely. You will not receive endlessly. You may receive some things now because of your past punya and grace of Bhagwan and all, but it's not going to stay if you unless and until you continue to serve. Service or yajna spirit is the one which will make you capable to receive. Now, this devotee does not need to worry that, if he takes care of the happiness of, or if he's worried about the happiness of Bhagwan, or if he's only looking at the happiness of Bhagwan, who will take care of his happiness? Are, you are talking about God here. He is already so sufficient. The whole world, the whole creation, the whole cosmos belongs to him. He doesn't want to keep your things. He is not miser, he is not selfish. He is sitting there to give you everything. I'll tell you the beauty of Bhagwan, the compassion of God, that there are stories in Purana where he has given himself to people. This episode of Kuchela Upakhyan, which comes, the friend of Bhagwan, Sudama, when he goes to Bhagwan, to meet Bhagwan Krishna, Bhagwan Krishna asks him, "What did you get for me?" Now think of why Bhagwan is asking, "What did you get for me?" Do you think there is any dearth of things with Bhagwan that he has to go and ask Sudama, "What did you get for me?" Bhagwan is generating that habit to give. And he said that he was very poor. So he said, looking at the glory of Bhagwan, the Aishwarya of Bhagwan, how, what a big beautiful palace, and I got such a small thing which is a minuscule thing, and he may not be even wanting to see that at all. So Sudama hid what he got, but Bhagwan knew that he has got something. Bhagwan took it out from him and started consuming it. It was a little bit of poha what he has got for or Bhagwan. And Rukmini ji saw it in the first of, if he filled his fist with that and ate it in the first fistful of thing he ate. He gave so much of wealth to Sudama. He gave palace, he gave, Pratishtha, whatever. The next one, when he ate, he gave a different loka also. The third one, and he was about to eat, and Rukminiji stopped him. Said, bus, it's more than enough. You've eaten enough. You should share it with us also. Why? If the third he would have eaten the entire thing, he would have given Rukminiji also at the service of Sudama. That is the level of Bhagwan. He is waiting there to give everything to us. But we are so fools, we don't understand that. Remember one thing, a devotee who works for the happiness of Bhagwan, his happiness is always protected, and far well protected than the whole world can protect it put together. Let me tell you upfront. If we keep our happiness in the pocket of of somebody in the world or something in the world, remember, we may or may not get it also. There is no guarantee you will get it. You will not even know where it is lying. But if you keep it in the pocket of Bhagwan, for sure, sitting at this Vyaspeeth, I'm telling you, you will not only get it back, you will get it back multiplied at multiple levels, so to say. You won't even know how much you will get it back. That is the beauty of keeping the key to our happiness in the pocket of Bhagwan. So, what Bhagwan is wanting to tell us is that our action should become the flower we offer at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. This is the order and instruction of Supreme Consciousness Bhagwan Krishna to all of us human beings while doing action. And the meaning of the word asakta is only this much. Asakta means, you may think detachment and all those things. The only thing is attached to God. The moment you attach to God, you do not have to worry about detachment from the world. It's not that you can be attached to God also and you can be attached to world also. You're making a fool of yourself. There are people who say, I love God, but I love world also. Don't love God. You are only, passing time on that thing with your bhakti, and you are merely becoming happy that you are a bhakta, you are a devotee. It's, good luck to you. Now, remember one thing, the word asakta is not a tasteless thing at all. What if I remain detached from the world? What is there to look forward in this world? What is there to, live a life for? Living detached means let it be. I think it's a very tasteless kind of world. Don't, get into that level at all. Or in the word asakta, detachment, actually, devotion is hidden in that word. In that word asakta, detachment, devotion is hidden. And remember, the taste oozes, the good taste oozes out of that all the time. Remember, dry detachment can never be established at all. There is nothing called dry detachment. That is why I said, there is nothing called dry bhakti. I have a dry bhakti. Oh, I don't feel like, yeah, I love God, but I don't feel like doing, bhajan, kirtan, I don't know what these people do. It's not, it's a very dry kind of a thing. It's not a bhakti at all. There is nothing called a dry detachment or a dry bhakti, a dry devotion. You know, remember one thing. One thing I'm telling you honestly here through this topic is that when a great person, a person of great stature, or a great saint, devotion for a great saint or devotion for a great person enters our heart, then remember, slowly, gradually, whenever we are with Him first, we start to take care of things in such a way that He is happy with whatever we are offering Him. We slowly, gradually start to, take care of His happiness. That, oh, I should, till the time whenever I'm around Him, I should at least do something which makes Him happy. We will take care of that happiness and we will not be able to leave that at effort at whenever we are around that person. Means what? When we are around that person in that devotion, and slowly gradually when it develops, even when we are not around that person also, if the devotion has taken strength and the faith has got established, remember, even when we are not around that person also, oh, we will be able to give up our own selfish interest easily. We will generate the capability of giving up our selfish interest if we have devotion for a great saint, devotion for a great person, devotion towards great God entered our heart. Remember one thing, that capability which we do not have to give up our selfish and our weird kind of things which we have nourished in us, that capability which we do not have today, we will slowly gradually start developing that in our heart. When a great saint, a devotion for a great saint, devotion for God, or devotion for a great person starts to enter our heart. Remember one thing, when such kind of a devotion enters, those things which seem impossible for us to remove from us, we slowly, gradually start getting the capability to remove it at the fraction of a second within us. And I give you one example of my Puja Guruji. He said many times it feels that, we feel that we are not able to, do or change this thing, but just when our Guru said, it got changed immediately. That's the power of the words of a Guru. Why? Because there is sadhana behind that. There is realization behind that. So Guru's sadhana is far, far higher than us. That is why his words, have are more impactful on us than our own efforts. That is one thing which we need to remember. Many times you will see that we may not feel ill that there is a way to escape from certain behavior, certain attitude of us, but just because when we start developing in love and devotion to a guru or God, slowly gradually we develop that capability to actually drop even the most difficult things very, very fast. That's a thing which you have to try for yourself. My Guruji used to say this very beautifully. To be honest and frank with you, the capability to give up our selfish interests and ego, and the capability to overcome our negativities come only when we have devotion for God or a great saint or a guru who which has started to arise in us. Only then this capability comes. Without that, this capability is not possible. There is no way to generate this capability at all. Anybody can do any amount of sadhana, any amount of devotion, and remember, but anasakta or free from attachment can only happen through this way. There is no other way possible. Only for happiness of someone who is placed as a higher ideal in our life, we can give up our own selfish happiness. Now, the only promise which is required here is that uh, in his happiness, I should have love. I should love his happiness. I should be happy with his happiness. In that person who is a guru or a great saint, I should have devotion, I should have faith, and I should have respect. Remember one thing, these three, actually, I will use four things here. Four things are utmost important if you really want to gain from a guru, even if you want to gain from God also. Four things are very important. You should have devotion towards them, you should have faith in them, you should have respect for them, and you should have the attitude of service for them. These are the things which are required if you really want to gain in life from their closeness. Now, in the third chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan has made it very, very clear, and he said, Arjun, remember, for those people who have not reached the level of Atma Raman, reveling in the self, who have not yet reached the stature of reveling in the self, who have not established reveling in the self yet, Arjun, when you said, na, you asked the question, na, Ekam Vada Nischitya. I am telling you, for all those people who have not reached that level of reveling in the self, being satisfied with the self, contented with the self, those who have not reached that level, for them, the one thing for sure I'm telling you is this order, that go and start doing Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is the only option for them. Remember, huh? There is a difference between karma and karma yoga. That is what I'm trying to explain you here. Why I said about karma and all these lines is, don't, Bhagwan is not asking you to just do merely action. Yes, Bhagwan is definitely telling you that we should not be sitting idle. We should not have bent of mind towards inaction. We must do action. But Bhagwan is saying, don't merely do action. Do karma yoga. He wants us to do karma yoga. Then only we will be able to reach that path which Bhagwan is talking about. The first step of that, as expounded by Bhagwan, is we all human beings must do action. Why? Because by giving up action or not doing action, nobody can reach the ultimate goal. Nobody can establish in the final goal at all. Remember, giving up action has got nothing to do with actually reaching your final goal of realization. It's got nothing to do with that. In the world of seekers, there is always this delusion which keeps hanging around, that realization and has got a direct connection with giving up of actions. That is a mistaken understanding. Supreme Consciousness Bhagavan Krishna has made it very clear in the fourth verse of this chapter itself, Nacha Sanyasanadeva Siddhim Samadhigacchati. The action which you want to give up, remember, it has got nothing to do with reaching the state of realization or reaching the final goal. Remember, giving up action does not lead you to Naishkarmya, meaning freedom from action. It does not lead you to that. Also, it does not help you with antakarna, purity of inner equipment also. It has got nothing to do with purity of inner equipment. It has got nothing to do with Naishkarmya, reaching the level of freedom from action. The second thing Bhagwan said, since giving up action is not possible, is not allowed and not possible, that is why I'm telling you, go ahead and do your action. You do your action. Bhagwan says, Nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Bhagwan said that, no? In the next verse to that, which is verse number 5, Bhagwan said this, na, Nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishtati akarmakrit. Giving up action is not possible for even a moment. Forget about, on a longer run. The third step, Bhagwan said that we all must do our action with the process of Karma Yoga, using the methodology of Karma Yoga. Action or karma cannot be given up at all, but remember, all actions bind us. That's why niyatam kuru karmatvam yajnartham karma kaunteya mukta sangas samachara yajnarthat karmanon yatra. One said, no, yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Bhagwan had made it very clear and accepted this fact that all actions definitely bind. That's why, remember, in Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan is not telling us to do action. He's not teaching us to do action. He's not advising us to do action. Bhagwan's teaching, we need to understand it very clear. Bhagwan's teaching is only for doing karma yoga. Yes, Bhagwan said you cannot give up action. So you should not even make an attempt to give up action. But Bhagwan is saying the teaching here is not for karma in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, teaching is for karma yoga. Karma yoga can be made only when we start doing action for the happiness, for the love of God. And remember, through Karma Yoga only, our Abhyudaya and Nishreyas. Abhyudaya means our growth, vertical growth, and Nishreyas means reaching the final goal of birth, of a Jivatva, reaching the final goal of human and birth. Both of them can be established. Anena prasavishyadvam esha vah astu ishta kamadhu. It's like a Kamadhenu, the Kamadhenu cow, which is there in Swargaloka, in heaven, which fulfills all the desires, which Bhagwan said in verse number 10. With Karma Yoga only, Karma Yoga is like the Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu means that I told you that divine cow which is there in heaven, which by milking it you can fulfill any of your desire. So Bhagwan says through the Karma Yoga, it's the Kamadhenu through which you can gain your vertical growth, Abhyudaya, you can reach your growth also, and you can also reach Nishreyas. Nishreyas means you can reach your final destination or final goal of realization also. Whatever you wish, remember with this Kamadhenu, the Karma Yoga in the form of Kamadhenu, you can establish whatever you wish in your life. The fourth facet of the teaching of Bhagwan is for the human race, for the human beings, doing the action with yajna bhav, the spirit of yajna, is something which is natural. You must do it. It is something which is automatic. A karma yoga also you should do. Why? Because karma yoga is also natural. But Bhagavan said, Saha yajna praja srishtva puro vacha prajapati. In the same verse number 10, Bhagavan said, no, Sahayajna praja srishtva puro vacha prajapati. The fifth thing which Bhagavan said is Karma Yoga is that cycle of this creation which is the core sound syllable also. It is the cycle of the creation which is already set on. And that cycle of creation, it is the core sound of this creation, the core music of this creation, the divine song which is going at the background of this creation. With the spirit of yajna only, this whole creation is being nourished and going about. In this cycle of creation, and you are also one small portion of this cycle of creation. Because of that, you must remember, if you lead a life, if overlooking this cycle of creation, overlooking this yajna spirit, if you act in this creation and like that, you are actually spoiling the music of this creation, and you will be labeled as the one who is a spoiler sport of this creation, who is spoiling the music, who is creating disturbance in this already going on music of this creation. You're sitting in a concert and there is somebody who's making noise. You would want to throw him out of the auditorium so that you can hear the concert clearly, right? There are disturbing elements everywhere. So if somebody spoils this cycle of creation, breaks this cycle of creation, Bhagwan is saying very clear that you are also one of them who is the spoiler of this whole cycle of creation. And if you end up doing like that, you are filling up your life, filling up your whatever age you live with sin and sin alone. You will end up topping up like mobile recharge top up and all. You'll be topping up of your life with sins. And remember, your life will be led at a level of indriya ram. Indriya means the one who is reveling at the level of senses, and your life will have no meaning at all, or neither for you nor for others around you. Mogham parthasa jivati. No, what does this all mean? That we must make an effort to escape this is way of not getting to the level of indriya ram. Indriya means the one who is reveling at the level of senses. Rather, we should could change that and get into the attitude of doing with the attitude of karma yoga. Now, I want to explain something before I complete the session today. I'm purposively bringing up this point so that you can sit down, take back, and rationally think over it. Animals in this creation, remember, they are Indriyaram. Why? Because they have no intellectual life at all. Their life has got nothing in intellectual bound at all. Remember, since they do not have the intellectual level at all, they do not have feelings or thoughts, so to say. Feeling means the emotions I'm talking about. They have their own association, but you cannot call that as emotion, so to say. So, because they have no intellectual capability at all. Now, remember one thing, animals have got no relationship with anyone. And without relationship, you cannot form emotions and feelings. Even their, what do you call that, progeny life also is only and only at the level of sensual enjoyment only, sensual level only, indriya ram only, reveling at the level of senses only. There, in their life, there is not even a wee bit of emotion or feeling. There, the establishment of relationship is completely absent there. I'm trying to think to choose some words so that I can give you in the correct way so that you understand. Now don't start running after me that I'm putting down animals or anything. No, I'm only trying to explain you the way you need to look at the creation. Yes, they are a part and parcel of the creation. I'm not saying kill them or anything at all. Rather, we should nourish them only. I'm being very clear. But I'm trying to tell you that they are living at a different level and we are living at a different level. Why I am bringing it out here? There is a reason I'm bringing it out here. Because if you read newspaper and all, some weird incidents which are happening around us, you will see that all of them are living at the level of animal and animal alone. And if they are living at the level of animal, they need to be punished also at that level. They cannot, those people cannot be given the rights of human when we have to punish them. You cannot put that level at all. Why? Because their actions in the society are worse than animals. Let me tell you that way. Now remember, if animals had brain and animals had intellectual thing there, they would have become very dangerous for the society. And that is why, that is what is happening with these animals moving around freely in the society, endangering the life of humans, us human beings in the society. They are nothing but a social evil to be punished and to be kept under bay so that we can lead a peaceful life. That is why I'm bringing it out here. Now don't take my discussion at a different level at all, because their intellectual level is zero. One example I'll give you is honey bee. You must have seen that at honeycomb which they make, from the starting of the creation and even today, so many years have passed by, so many yugas have passed by, but there is no change in the construction methodology and the model of the honeycomb. Why? Because they have no intellectual level at all. How it was made at the starting of the creation, it is made in the same way today also. The nests which are made by birds, how it was in the beginning of the creation, even today they are the same. There is nothing new in this. Why? Because they do not have the ability to do research and make changes. They cannot do inventions, they cannot do discoveries. In the life of animal, remember, the intellect is completely absent. Intellect, the jiva is the same, it is redundant in the animal life. In the life of human beings, us, remember, everything is changing every day. Not only in one arena, in one side, or one aspect, every aspect I'm talking about, whether it is food, whether it is clothing, whether it is communication, every field there is change happening day in and day out. Man, the one thing which I talk about, man is not happy with those things which are older. So as the things grow old, he wants to invent something new. Because of that intellectual desire, intellectual capability and intellectual capability, because of that, remember, things are always changing around us, and that change is possible. Why? Because primarily human beings are supposed to be intellectual, as intellect as the primary thing in their life. And in the BMI chart also of Puja Gurudev, you will see intellect is the last one there, it's the top level there. After intellect only Vasana and the Om comes in. And I told you when I explained the BMI chart, we must, if you really want to lead a human life, we only got a human body yet, remember that we are not humans yet, we have to yet become human. We have only got a human body. We got this human body so that we can cultivate this culture, cultivate this attitude, cultivate this habit, so that we can continue to live in a human life. While I told you in my previous podcast also, many people have asked me question about that also. Many of us who are in this human body and fail to generate this kind of culture, attitude, and the level to lead a human life are surely bound to fall back into animal life after this. And that is why I'm talking about the incidents which are happening in around you will see. So, in the human life, relationships are established with the feelings and emotions which are developed in us. Why? Because man is an intellectual being also, and man is an emotional being also. An emotional life, a life of emotion towards others, life of feeling towards others, is not an animalistic life at all. And karma yoga is something which we all must do, so that at least minimum we are able to lead the life of a human being, which many of us are not doing today. Indriya Ram, when Bhagwan says, Bhagwan is telling us through Karma Yoga, grow above this Indriya Ram, the attitude of living at the sensual level. Grow above that. Because you have the capability to do that, and you must do it. That is why you must take up the thing of leading a life filled with Karma Yoga. That is the sixth facet which Bhagwan brought out. Just that our age or our life is not filled with sin. That is why Bhagwan is telling that develop the yajna spirit, or the feeling of swaha, in all your action. That is the seventh facet which Bhagwan brought about. The eighth facet which Bhagwan brought about is, if you really want to make your life meaningful, and if you really want to lead a meaningful life, then remember, the only option you have is to become a karma yogi. Become a karma yogi, lead a life of karma yoga. That only will make your life meaningful. And if one is not karma yogi, then remember, the three things will always be there in the life of such a person if one is not a karma yogi. Either person will lead a life of karma yoga, or these three things will remain. What are the three things? He or she will be living at a sensual level, so in indriyanam, reveling at the level of senses. Second, his or her life will be filled with sin, and you cannot stop that at all. Why? Because for one's own comfort, luxury, and happiness, this person is surely going to inflict pain on others. He's surely going to give inflict pain and sorrow on others for the sake of his or her own pleasure, comfort, and own happiness. Now with this, I'm also giving you one more declaration here. If a person only lives for his or her own happiness, remember, he or she cannot live without inflicting pain and sorrow to others. If somebody is living only at the level of their own happiness, this life is not possible at all. And it is said loud and clear. Manu Maharaj in Manu Smriti says, if somebody is leading a selfish life, remember, without inflicting in pain and sorrow and on others, this person cannot enjoy life at all. This person will always have the zeal to take away somebody else's right or snatch away somebody else's right, will always want to capture what belongs to someone else. All these things this man will definitely do. And these are the one which are called as sin. Papaya parapidanam. Sin is that which is like inflicting pain and sorrow on others, inflicting loss for others, inflicting fear in others. Third thing is that if somebody lives for, or lives for others and themselves only, then remember, their life can never be meaningful at all. They will never be able to reach a meaningful achievement in their life at all. That thing which we need to know very, very clearly here. When Karma Yoga is there, then these three kind of errors, these three kinds of faults will no longer be there. Life will always be meaningful, and that too for you also, for the your life will be meaningful for you also, for the society also, for the country also. And in your life, infliction of pain because of you and others will always be very, very low. Or to be completely minuscule, so to say. And this person will save himself from becoming aghayu, who means will become free from sin, so to say, and will slowly, gradually move towards purity in life. When this feeling of swaha is there, remember, where this feeling of swaha is there, there only relationships can also be maintained and fulfilled. Where you do not have the interest and intent to give up anything, remember, there a person cannot fulfill any relationship at all. For fulfilling relationship also, the feeling of sacrifice is definitely required. And when we become married, when you become in a wedlock also, many things you have to give up at your level. When you have kids, you have to give up many, many more things. So sacrifice is there. And if you really want to, fulfill your relationship, sacrifice is a must. You know, uh, for a person who cannot give up at all, for them, relationship are only mere a matter of convenience alone. Without this swaha, remember, a man cannot grow above the level of being above the sensual level at all. Cannot grow above that level at all. Everything is should be done in life according to me. Everything should happen what I feel like. It is not a human nature at all. It is an animalistic tendency, so to say. Everything cannot. Why should everything happen according to you? Everyone is a being here. They also have their own interests and things. Why should everyone lead according to you? you know in the human life, if you really want to establish a relationship, then remember, this thing you must know, that you must have the attitude of giving up for someone else. You should start working in a way that you are not working according to you. You should start looking at how others want you to do. In the corporate life also, you know, uh, I think this is a topic I'll pick up some other time. I may not have time to do it now, but I just wanted to just touch base on this point. Every time, everything should happen according to you. In corporate life also, you cannot gain success like that. You will have to work with many. You will have to report into many. Why will everything happen according to you? There are people placed on higher position than you for a reason. There's somebody say that I'm bluntly honest. That's not a good property. That's actually a wrong thing in you. You must know how to lead a life in the society. Everything cannot happen according to you. You should know where to get involved and where to separate yourself from. But insistence that everything should happen according to me, that is an animalistic tendency. So Bhagwan says we all must develop this habit of doing karma yoga, and that is the eighth facet of this whole thing. The ninth facet, Bhagwan says, Arjun, you should do karma yoga. Why? Because you have not established yourself at the level of reveling in the self. You have not established the level of Atma Raman yet. If you really want to establish reveling in the self, feeling satisfied with the self, feeling contented with the self, then remember, do your allocated assigned duty, do your respective duty. That is a must for you. Why? Because you have not reached a level of reveling in the self yet. That is why for you doing karma yoga is utmost important. You have no other option. You must do it. You said, no, give me, decide one thing and give me ekam vada nischitya. So for you, the instruction is very clear, that Bhagwan is ordering Arjun and giving teaching advice also, that Arjun, and you must stand up and do karma yoga, what I'm telling you to do. I've given you so many facets. I've explained you so many reasons, so that there is no doubt left in your mind at all. Arjun, the 10th facet I'm talking about is that, uh, those ones should definitely do karma yoga. Why? Because you should do karma yoga. Why? Because you have a name in the society. You are best among the archers, among the warriors available in today's time. And since you are best amongst that, you are definitely a person who's seen at a top of performance. Remember, people look up to you. And in the intellect of the people, in the understanding of the people, you are a hero, and you have been established as a hero in their own intellect. And those who are great, they have one duty which always is attached to them, that if they don't do it, they will be called as fallen from the level of duty. It's a fallen being. you know uh, when we become great, one more responsibility slowly gradually starts falling on our shoulders, is that you know we have to spend some time in doing things for the development of the society, for the benefit of the society. We call it loka sangraha. In society, there is one word which is very popular, that is called samaj seva, or social service. Now, uh, social service, the better word for social service is actually loka sangraha. Loka sangraha means nourishment of the society, nourishment of the world, or protecting the world, or collecting the good things in the world, so that people can gain in their life. So, Bhagwan has said here in the next verse, Bhagwan is going to bring out that in the 20th verse, Bhagwan says, for the first time, Bhagwan uses this word Loka Sangraha. Bhagwan says, Loka Sangraha me vapi sampashyan kartum arhasi. Remember one thing, in Arjun is only a nimitta. Arjun is through Arjun, actually, Bhagwan is telling all of us. This is applicable to all of us. Why? Remember one thing, amongst us also, we may be great for some people will be looking up to us for what we do, what we are, and all. So, for because of that thing, this responsibility falls on us also, that we must do something for the benefit of the world, so the world can gain. Bhagwan Bhashyakar, Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji, he explains this word Loka Sangraha as Lokasya Unmarga Pravritti Nivaranam Loka Sangraha. The meaning of what Bhagwan Shankaracharya ji has done for Loka Sangraha is that those things in people, the things which are prohibitory in nature, which are residing in people, well, those which are leading people to the wrong path, so to say, the lok sangraha is actually means stopping those kind of things from manifesting into action, or help people come out of such kind of attitudes and such kind of culture and characters built, so that world can become a livable place for everyone. Those things which are leading them into wrong direction, correcting those things is called loka sangraha. The example I'll give is that in the society, in case this lawlessness suddenly he gets into the into the blood of the society to break the law, then something needs to be done so that this breaking of law is stopped. This action or this act of people of breaking law here and there is stopped. And according to this meaning which is mentioned, that is also termed under the termed under the meaning of loka sangraha. That also is for the nourishment of this world or protection of this world. If in some person sensual enjoyment is is growing very much, then stopping in that person from getting into that at sensual enjoyment and end up doing sin, to stop that person from that habit, is also loka sangraha. And in case there are things which are spoiling things for one's own self also and for others also, or trouble making for others also, correcting that or destroying that at act is also loka sangraha. Let me tell you honestly, in case a man's act is or action is good, no, even if that man is working as a labor, remember, still his life is meaningful. His life will get a meaningful level, so to say. But vis-a-vis that, in case somebody's action is not correct, right, then remember, even if that person is at a higher level also, that person is definitely not leading correctly. Is not going to have a meaningful life at all. So, if a person's act is not good, it is not loka sangraha. If person's act is good, even if that person is doing labor work also, is actually doing loka sangraha, because looking at him, somebody else, there may be people in the family also looking up to him. So they will definitely surely correct at some point in time. Making a person hardworking, making a person not dependent on others also falls under the category of loka sangraha. If some people have this attitude or this habit of laziness to steal away somebody else's thing, too much sensual enjoyment, and if you are able to remove these or help people control these and put them into the correct path, remember that is also loka sangraha. Remember, with wrong kind of attitudes developed, wrong kind of habits it's developed and nourished, wrong kind of thought process is generated or developed in us, it is definitely going to destroy our values of life in each one of us. And with wrong values, remember, uh, if with wrong values you cannot bring a meaningful life, you cannot or create a meaningful society. So if we are able to destroy the wrong values of life and instill correct values in someone, that is also under the category of loka sangraha. This word loka sangraha is a very very deep topic. Like, how we are supposed to do it, we need to understand the depth of it correctly. Why? Because everyone is going to be looked up by someone or the other. It could be in family, it could be in society, it could be in workplace, it could be any place. The result of loka sangraha or nourishing this society may be small or big, it doesn't matter. But remember, that is a duty of all of us. We must contribute something to the society in our own limited sphere, whatever we can. This act of nourishing the society or protecting the society is always done at a very subtle level. But even though it is done at a very subtle level, the effect of it is seen after a long period of time, because it takes time to come to fruition. But in the current scenario, you can definitely see that in some form or the manner, or some form or manner, it is definitely going to hit the thought process of people. It is definitely going to impact the thought process. Many people, even when we do spiritual talks also, many people do come back that no, this has changed us, this has changed us and all. We feel that it's all God's grace, that God helped us do something for him so that people can benefit. That is what is called loka sangraha. That is what is called nourishment of the society. Now this change in the society is not easy at all, rather it is very difficult. But this change, whenever it happens, it is going to be permanent. That one thing is definitely there. It is definitely worth the hard work. I'm telling you very honestly. Now when people reach out to me, this podcast also started like 1.5 years ago. We have spent so much time coming to that. When people contact me, I feel it's so good that at least there are people who reach out to me are at all different episodes. Some is at the first chapter only, some is the second chapter. So but slowly, gradually, even though it started 1.5 years ago, people are now coming to first, in first chapter, second chapter. When they reach out to us, we feel that how God or blessed us to do some small work for him. That is why Bhagwan says that the way of doing nourishment of the society is shrestha yadyad acharati loka tat tat anuvartate. O Arjun, you are looked upon by many as one of the best warriors available of your times. That is why, for doing this loka sangraha, nourishment of the society, you must do karma yoga. That much for today. Rest we will see in the next session. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि श्रीमन्नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम तत्सत्।